And that brings us to the beloved, the inevitable, the incomparable, the mystical Jon Ossoff.
Wait, so people who have been paying attention realize that somehow over the past week or so, his name has been everywhere. Why is
Everywhere.
that?
Coincidence.
Why is everyone talking about Jon Ossoff?
It's a total coincidence, Jen. He just happens to be a really great guy, and he's just really, really misunderstood. I think that that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's my senator.
Yeah. Oh, he sure is. And just in case anybody needs a reminder of who Mr. Ossoff is and what he stands for, here is when he ran for the Senate the first time.
No.
Do you support Medicare for all?
No.
Do you support DC statehood?
Yes.
Do you support Puerto Rican statehood?
Yes.
Do you support defunding the police?
No.
Do you support abolishing ICE?
No.
Do you support expanding the Supreme Court?
No.
Do you support ending the filibuster?
Maybe.
That's fair. The maybe is the only fair answer he's had, actually. The maybe is the only tolerable answer that I have found in his responses. But by all means, continue, John.
The only thing you need to know about guys like this is that, again, he's handsome, he's well-spoken, he's got it going on a little bit. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but
he's okay, and they're going to try to sell him as the Gavin Newsom of Georgia.
Oh, absolutely. Everything on paper.
This is what they're trying to do. And everybody got their papers and their marching orders to start all of a sudden mentioning Ossoff. We're going to start mentioning him. Everybody mention him. We're going to mention him.
Yeah. So well, again, this is it. But again, is it really that surprising? I mean, is anybody really that surprised? We said that Newsom seemingly was inevitable, but in a way, it wouldn't have made sense to make him the guy because he's in California. They already have have a hard enough time selling California. Whereas Ossoff is in Georgia, which is one of the critical swing states for the Democrats, which is why it's not going to be surprising as much as it
He looks better now to me. Guys who are talking about how he looks, he actually looks better now to me than he did in that clip. I'm not going to say I don't think he looks decent and that he isn't well-spoken and could actually be a decent statesman. Maybe he could be, but unfortunately he's on the wrong side of history.
Correct.
So the fact is, and they're going to try to use it as another opportunity to shove liberal Zionism down people's throats. Because Ossoff is a quote-unquote liberal Zionist, and he's going to come out saying, I don't take AIPAC money. He does, and he has. And even if he isn't anymore, he still takes money from J Street and whatever other bullshit Zio organizations in disguise, right?
Yeah.
So he still supports the concept of a Jewish ethno-state, period, end of story. So
I always have to...
He is just a non-starter.
Yes. Well, I have to one of our attractive mods, we have to give her the benefit. She can certainly attest to whether this is a guy that she would look at and say, oh yeah, I would definitely talk to him. But like
every woman on here, everybody on here who finds men attractive can comment on that.
That's true.
So we all can comment on that.
And as hey, listen, say what you want, but I mean, that is a difference between Ossoff and Buttigieg.
It is, and it especially is when you look at the people that are the voters, which tend to be women, middle-aged women, older women.
When it comes to that Democratic base voter in the suburbs, yes, 100%. 100%.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves, the president sleeps through his meetings.
Also, note the rolled up sleeves. Note the rolled up sleeves. It is staged. It is purposeful. It is not authentic.
He doesn't speak authentically. Did people not catch that?
This is staged. He is very, very staged.
Extremely.
That's how I feel about him. And he does not have the grace and smoothness that Obama has. He doesn't.
Well, that's what Kendra's saying. Kendra's saying, but he is copying Obama. There's no question.
Here's the thing. He is not. Obama is one of the smoothest, coolest under pressure presidents that I've ever seen.
Ever.
Like
Yeah.
ever.
Absolutely.
And this guy's trying to replicate that. And that hence I'm just pointing out the rolled up sleeve look. Okay. Because he's not getting to work. It's not hot in that room. He's not getting ready to get into something dirty. So he's got to roll up his sleeves. He's standing in some sort of air-conditioned building making a speech. But he's trying
that guy
to
gets
like
that guy looks like he gets pedicures and manicures. I'm just putting
he's very well, he's Metro. And here's the thing. That stuff is not a problem. I don't mind any of those things. Those are it's important. It's important to have nice looking feet. All you men who don't get your feet groomed, shame on you. It's gross. But yeah. So that's not the problem. He is no Obama.
No, he's definitely not an Obama. That's for sure.
And no, he can't. Yeah.
He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
So gratuitous. So gratuitous. Somebody from the DNC, somebody in his ear, some sort of consultant, WCCC, whatever, told him that it's an opportunity for you to kind of go viral. Bring up the president's girlfriend here. This is how we'll mention it. And it's so obvious that he was given that, like almost like a crumb. Here, you get to throw that out.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic. And again, I don't give a rat's ass about the president, his ass wiper girlfriend. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. But it's so clear that he thinks that's a gotcha. He's making his gotcha, but it is so clearly staged, planned, and gratuitous. That's the problem. And it comes off very fake to me.
Remember to vote your Ossoff. That's the tagline. Vote your Ossoff. Yeah. Very, very smooth, you guys. It's, again, we've seen this movie before. And we know that
totally, Lila.
Well, because it's disingenuous. It's not real. It's a completely manufactured style. Now, I am going to highlight, because again, we have seen a lot of people, including Hassan Piker and Mehdi Hassan and many others that are up Ossoff's ass. They're getting their Ossoff.
They're getting their marching orders from Empire.
Correct.
Anybody who, and we talked about this, and I don't know when you want to get into this in terms of the money and what he's sitting on in terms of his cash on hand. And let's get to
that list. I want you to see what shit liberty in real time looks like. And sorry, Lysandra Vasquez, but you're going to be put on the spot. So thank you for doing this. And now people can see what fawning over a corporate politician. Again, this is the problem this is why liberalism is worse.
Who is this woman you're talking about? Okay.
You'll see in a second. This is why liberalism is worse, because people go back to sleep. There's a difference between liberal Zionism, if you want to call it that, or completely mask off Zionism like a Ben Gvir. You can't ignore that. It's too obvious. But in the end, they all end up in the same place.
Of course.
And that's where somebody like this lady comes in and is just a complete manifestation of all that is wrong. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please make sure you do.
In the clips of what Jon Ossoff said on stage, but I want to tell you what Jon Ossoff said to me when I got to meet him. So just for context, this is how these work. When you meet with like a politician or someone like that, you stand in a line and then there's somebody there taking the pictures and you have a couple of moments to say something, you take the picture, and then you go on about your way. Despite the fact that you've never seen me smile at a man like this, I took my few seconds that I had with Senator Ossoff to tell him this. I said to him, I appreciate that with all the presidential 2028 chatter, You continue to keep the focus on the people of Georgia and your job as a U.S. Senator. And he said to me, with excellent and respectful eye contact, mind you, we're focused.
My head is going to explode.
Who is this bimbo?
A pretty popular Instagram comedian.
Say no more. The
okay.
truth is, if she was anything part of what our mission is, she wouldn't have been invited to that event.
That's true.
So yeah, there's a lot of things here. And the fact that she's even playing within their little sandbox is enough to tell me, yeah, she's part of the problem. You can continue.
And that's what I want in a senator. Focus. Can you imagine a world where your politicians actually did the job that they applied for and weren't just constantly trying to get to the next
I would
level?
love to see it.
It's not much of a silly goose, but one of my favorite moments of his are when he absolutely reads people for filth, like Pete Hegg said. He like does it in like the most professional, like grounded way. And I'm just like, I don't know, that's my senator. And he holds them accountable. So we live in the state of Georgia. Okay. Make sure you're registered to vote. Early voting starts in 8 weeks. And let's vote our Ossoff.
Boop. Okay. So this woman is your stereotypical white, liberal, suburbanite, very privileged individual. That's who this is. And these people are okay with slogans and catchphrases like focus. We're going to focus, like it means anything to say that, because her life is really good. So it doesn't really matter. She just needs somebody to like wear the suit and look professional and have a nice demeanor and say it nicely. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. So, and it's anybody who thinks that talking to these people will get you anywhere, you're silly. That's like going up, please, sir, can I have some more? No, fuck those people.
Now, there's a few layers here, very important layers that we have to unwrap. It is obvious that Ossoff there's a couple of things at play here. The first one is he will be reelected to the Senate in Georgia. That is going to happen. He is running against, in my opinion, probably the worst Republican in the entire state, in Mike Collins. If you guys don't know who Mike Collins is the crazy person that everybody pretends that Marjorie Taylor Greene is. Marjorie's out there, but Marjorie's not a psychopath. This guy, Mike Collins, he really is out of his mind. And he's a, super bigot. All the worst elements of Dixiecrat Republicanism, that's who this guy is. So Ossoff is going to win. With that being said.
And I see people asking if he took AIPAC money. We're going to get into more about his money. He has taken a lot of AIPAC money. He now says he's not taking it anymore. And that's the line that he has sold. And I actually went to meet with his policy person at his office. But he is still taking Israeli lobby money, just not from AIPAC. So yes, he's taken it from them in the past. He's saying that he's not anymore, but doesn't really matter because he's aligned with J Street. And he's still taking Israel lobby money, and he supports the existence of a Jewish ethno-state. You can't be like Zionist light. That's like being a little pregnant, right? Once you're a Zionist, no, bye-bye. No.
And before we get there, Jen, can we just say that once you are on record saying, of all things, no on Medicare for all, that's it. No one is ever going to believe you that you're going to change your stance, because to even say that you're against it ever means that you're not worth supporting. It means that you are for-profit health, which means you are for death panels. You are for the Brian Thompsons and the Josh Kushners of the world, whether you admit that you are or not. You are for them. Why? Because once you want that brass ring, and he sure as fuck wants it, you are going to do whatever is required in order to get there.
It's clear. And by the way, I was paying attention to the other things he was talking about, right? So, okay, this was back when he ran the first time. He wouldn't have said something like defund the police. I get it. But he couldn't even say abolish ICE as a so-called, more populist you couldn't even say abolish ICE.
We already have. We never needed ICE.
No, well, that's my point. If you can't at a minimum say that, you are not on our team. You're just not. You're not just, it's like you can't just be a little bit on our team.
Exactly.
Because you're on our team with something that, okay, great, but then you're not on our team with something that is the literal boot on people's necks.
And
so
I'm not.
You're not on our team.
And you guys know I'm fairly conservative when it comes to, immigration, border, and I am not against law enforcement, but ICE does not. But ICE doesn't need to exist. No. It never needed to exist. It's a Gestapo law enforcement agency. That is all it ever was. And if you need any further proof, look at who they get to join ICE. They get wannabe commandos off. They're basically getting IOF soldiers because you know that they are not capable of actually fighting for anything.
I love you, you're Black Socialista. I love you.
They can only go up against people that can't defend themselves. And this is, again, an example of when we look at the budgets and why. Jen, let's say.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like people who know I'm an abolitionist. I don't want any of it. I don't think we need police at all. I don't. In fact, I think that they cause more harm than good, but another story. But to not be able to say to abolish ICE it's a very bare minimum in terms of any stance in our criminal justice situation and immigration system we have right now. It's the bare minimum.
And I also
fuck that guy.
And I also want to say, do you think for 1 second that if Ossoff became president of the United States, do you think he's reducing the ICE budget in any capacity?
No, absolutely not.
Probably expand it. Probably make it even bigger. And to Ken and to everybody else in the chat, if Ossoff is the nominee, the VP is either AOC or Whitmer. So count on it now. Expect it now. Just be ready for it. I don't want anyone to be surprised. It's Alex or it's Gretchen. So
and I think that it's funny that you're willing to say that before even seeing how the two of them perform in the primaries. Because
I don't need to.
Okay.
We saw how pathetic Kamala was. It was a debate, blah, blah, blah. And she still became VP. Didn't matter.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I don't know. I think that.
What else you got?
I think they'd have to go. At the end of the day, I could see they'd go with Whitmer before they would go. Alex is going to end up face planting so badly by the end that it won't be salvageable. She's going to come off looking like a stupid kid. And Whitmer has been a chief executive of a state, albeit a shitty one, albeit there are people in her state that don't have clean water, and she seems okay with that and okay covering that up. And I think she's a psychopath with crazy eyes, but she will come off infinitely more capable. And in fact, she is more capable. She's been the chief executive of a state. Alex has never been the chief executive in this capacity, you know, and I reiterated over and over again that going from a legislator to a chief executive, it's, that's like, I can't explain. It's like if your cardiologist is not the same as your podiatrist. You don't just, it's not the same skill set. It's not the same knowledge base. It's a whole different thing. So it makes more sense for somebody like Whitmer. And again, I think she's a psychopath and I think she's disgusting.
It's in the eyes.
Well, she has crazy eyes, but she's more qualified than Alex by miles, but like not even within the same category. Yeah. Truthfully, like Alex is out of her element.
Yeah, you're out of your element, Allie. And keep in mind, this is, again, this is why I preface it with, if I'm giving positive coverage to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I always preface it with, until proven otherwise. I can appreciate what they're doing, particularly on Israel-Palestine, but you don't just trust them. And the way that people just trust Ossoff, that are just embracing him, at some point, how many times do you have to watch this movie? And I mention this because good news, Angie Nixon will be back on the podcast very soon. Her campaign comms
You
director
better believe it,
reached out to me
Kenman.
today.
Drinkosaurus, baby, 46 ounces in one bottle.
Yes.
But yet fits in a regular cup holder. Oh, yeah.
So I want to conclude this segment with a very important piece of information that many of you probably don't know. So as of, numbers have probably changed somewhat. I'm not going to say that they haven't changed at all. But post primary election, Angie Nixon, within 24 hours, was sitting on just under $500,000. Would you care to guess how much Jon Ossoff is sitting on right now? $42.5 million. And on top of that,
and those are both statewide seats for U.S. Senate in the Democratic Party. So he's sitting on 40 plus million, and she's sitting on less than $1 million.
Correct. And let's not even compare the population sizes, because Florida is twice the size of Georgia in terms of population.
Well, we already know it is. We already know this. This has already happened. The Florida Dems have already done that. The chair of the state party has already said she's not supporting her. They're disgusting.
Boston Schultz is not doing it.
Yeah, they're disgusting. They're not even, again, not that Democrats are that different anyway, but these guys aren't even Democrats. You know what I mean? So not that Democrats are better than Republicans, but these guys aren't even that. They really are just Republicans.
You got a lot of admirers in the chat this evening. You go.
Oh, well, thank you, Patrick.
So it is important to keep this in mind. Couple things. Do you think Jon Ossoff is going to give any money whatsoever to Angie's campaign? The answer is no. Do you think Ossoff is going to give a lot of money to the DCCC and the DNC? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I am spoken for, Patrick, but thank you. That's very sweet.
Does anybody think for 1 second that if you're not in the club, you will get any real legitimate support? I mean, listen, Angie will inevitably end up raising a few $1 million.
Yeah.
But Ossoff is running for president of the United States. He is going to probably spend of the 42 million, which, by the way, I'm still getting fundraising emails from that son of a bitch. Still getting them. I really hate to ask you for more money, Peter.
Right. But let me, and here's another sign. Not only have I suggested nobody ever gives another dollar to any other campaign ever, but any candidate who is sitting on that kind of money has to be looked at with suspicion.
Yes.
Because the only way that somebody can raise that kind of money is if they're working for empire and they're in line with the elite and they kowtow to the Epstein class, like, right? All of those things. If you don't, you can't raise that kind of money. So anybody who has that kind of money is suspicious.
You forgot one other important detail, Jen.
Yeah.
He is chosen.
Oh, yeah.
He is chosen. Got to keep it 100. Very important. Angie Nixon, in a just world, is the type of person that the people would get behind. But people like Lysandra Vasquez are too busy making, shoot your, I can't help it because that was just put in the chat, shoot your shot videos at Jon Ossoff. That's my senator. That's my guy. I love him. This is not a popularity contest. This is not running for prom king. This is to be leader of the free world. And yet we look around at everybody who cannot see the forest through the trees. And this is in the very early stages. But like I said, you can see the commentary online. You can see people fawning over him already. This is a man who has taken almost $1 million already from the Israel lobby. This is a man who talks constantly about how I'm not taking the AIPAC money, but he's taking the J Street money. You understand, ladies and gentlemen, that there are dozens of pro-Israel nonprofits on Capitol Hill that fund the entire operation. It's everywhere. What do you think DMFI does? What do you think Greenblatt's ADL does? What do you think J Street does? AIPAC is an excuse. That's not to say that they're not evil as fuck. They are. But if you do not understand political speak, then you're already 5-10 steps backwards.
I would say that AIPAC is to the Israel lobby what Netanyahu is to the Zionist state. It's what they're going to use to try to send down the river, so you think that everything's going to be okay as long as we get rid of those things. They're going to try to put all the focus on that, so that's the only thing you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The people who sell empire, even for a second, like Mehdi Hassan, who we know personally, there is no apologizing for this shit. And maybe that's why Mehdi refuses to come on our channel, because he knows that we will not play ball. We will not make it easy for him to have a conversation. I had to sit in a fucking room with him talking about how this is in front of people who are Palestinian, who had mass murdered families listening to this guy talk about how you must support Kamala Harris. I'm telling you now, because when it happens again, when you are told to get in that voting booth and vote your Ossoff, because Trump and Vance or Rubio, you understand why this system can't sustain itself, and it will not. It's not going to happen overnight, but inevitably it has to collapse.